Guys, it's John Bright Psychic here and welcome to October's Astro Tarot. So everything that's going to be happening in October, the general themes of what's going on this month, we're going to take a look at in today's video. We do begin October the 1st with a new moon. So it's a new moon in Libra, so it's very much a sense of love and finance. That seems to be the energy that's starting because September was intense, let's be honest, and hence why we have the Angel of Comfort. So September really seemed to be a time where we really were feeling very under pressure. It was like a pressure cooker that was ready to blow. And the comfort card here, which is ruled by Archangel Raphael with the green colour, is really an indication that all that we've been through in September and the accumulation of what we went through in September, it's being taken care for by a higher power. So the angels that are constantly around us, it's regardless whether you believe them in or not, are taking your burdens away. The general theme for October does feel a little bit high and a little bit low. It's like everything's going to be changing but settling down. Because as autumn does come in, we've just left the autumn equinox, so on the 22nd of September. So as autumn does come in, everything is stilling itself in, but the universe is a very clever way about finishing off what we need to that we haven't. So any kind of loose ends that need tying up will be getting tied up. I'm going to be using 3 separate tarot card decks to have a look around what's going on for us in October. And the first 3 cards that we have here today to look at what's going on in October, we'll say to begin with, we have the new moon in Libra, just to say it again, which is a love and finance kind of feel, but it's also a sense of freshness. Because a new moon, when it does come in, it's always that really strong sense of beginning, something's beginning. But the first week of October begins with the movement choices and decisions card. This card here, which is ruled by the number 2, so it's going to go in cycles of 2 days or 2 hours. So the first 2 days of October, there's going to be a lot that we're looking at here, as we can see, with love and finance. There, we're going to have a lot to deal with in our love life, not necessarily in a negative capacity, but it does feel that those that are in romantic relationships or seeking romantic relationships, the first 2 days of October, so obviously the 1st and the 2nd, it's a sense of growth and a sense of new beginning, because the new moon backs up here what we can see, the sense of growth and the sense of beginning. But we do have the 9 of Swords, which is governed by Mars, so it's a very fiery, sudden, warish kind of feel, because the planet of Mars is all about bringing stuff up. It's very hot-headed, it's very fiery. So any kind of conditions for the first 2 weeks, first 2 days in the first week of October that may come up around you that do deal with emotions, be careful what you say. Don't dive in, don't be straight to the point, don't be hot-headed, think things through. Patience is a very strong attribute that the angels are mentioning to me here. So for the first 2 days of October, particularly the first week, anything that does come up, it's only the loose ends of September being tied up. So don't feel that if you don't start October on a good level, that that's what's going to happen for the whole of October, because it isn't. And the rebirth card is very, very powerful. It's waking us up. This is the judgment card traditionally in tarot, but for these tarot cards, which are Druid craft, it comes as rebirth. So October's feeling, the first week of October with the new moon in Libra, it's just reminding us that what we've been through in September, it's just simply the loose ends that we're tying up. We had Mercury retrograde very powerfully in September, and it just destroyed everything. When Mercury goes into retrograde, and we had it for a month, so that was really intense. What it does when Mercury goes into retrograde, it puts everything backwards. So as we were moving forward and getting a positive momentum, it brought everything backwards. So the first feel for the first week of October is a little bit similar from what we've just seen in September. It's still just tying up the loose ends financially and within our romantic life. I do feel that a lot is still coming to the front for October. And as I said, as the earth does get a little bit stiller, it does seem to be just that general feel for us that we're going to be a little bit on edge and a little bit emotions are over the top, because that's what we get with the 9 of Swords. So what the message would be for the first week is don't act upon what's said to you. Don't overreact. We all get ourselves in situations where people say things and we go boom, and we really, really react really quickly. The first message for the first week of October is don't, because emotions still will be a little bit up and down, but don't overreact straight away. As we do move into the second week of October, we do begin with the first quarter of the full moon, and the full moon is going to be in Aries, which is again a very warrior energy. So the first 2 weeks is all about this kind of fiery feel. So it moves out of Libra and it moves into Aries. Aries people are very naturally very emotional, but they're also very over the top. So no offense to anyone that is an Aries. I'm personally a Taurus, but I'm on the cusp. I just made Taurus, so I do have a lot of the energy of Aries. But the full moon, which comes in on the 9th of October, which is just the second week as we go in, the first quarter, sorry, of the moon, brings in the full moon energy for the 16th. Because the 16th of October, we do have the full moon, which will be the third week of October. But the sense that we get is, to begin with, is a sense of security, which is fantastic. There's been no sense of security whatsoever in September. So we begin very strongly with a sense of security. We feel that we're secure within ourselves, but in our environments, which particularly our work, relationships and finance. So the first week of October is a little bit what's going on financially and romantically. The second week of October, that sense of security does come in. And we have the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Magician card, which is ruled by Mercury. And Mercury is a grounded feel, it's completion, it's beginning. And with the first quarter of the moon coming in, it is a sense of beginning, it is a sense of newness. So the Sacral Chakra card shows us that we're going to feel secure, but the Magician card says, so it's here, that anything we want to do, we can, but we must take responsibility for it when the Magician comes out. The spirit world can open the door for us, but they can't push us through it. So as the Magician card comes out for the second week of October, everything's going into balance, and it really is a strong sense of we're not going to be feeling exposed in a negative way, but we'll be feeling exposed in a good way. So everything that we're trying to sort out, or what we want to sort out, is very much coming forward for us, because the Magician card is fantastic. Everything is about completion with the Magician. So we've got a much better second week of October than we did when we did the first. We do have here, though, the Nine of Pentacles as well. So it's this period of introspection. We're looking at ourselves, because as the ground and the earth does become still in autumn, we do find that sometimes we have a bit of time on our hands. And when we get time on our hands with the Nine of Pentacles, when we do get time on our hands, what can happen is we overanalyze. And that pulls us back to the first week of October. We may be thinking about what went wrong or what didn't work. There truly is no point living in the past, because it doesn't serve us. What happened yesterday isn't going to happen today. It's always a brand new experience. So the Nine of Pentacles very much is about don't overanalyze too much, because you're very, very grounded. We see the lady here holding onto the branch, so we are very, very grounded in the second week of October. So we have the first quarter of the full moon coming in, but we do feel very grounded. We feel stable, but really honour the Magician card. I cannot talk about the power of this card anymore. The Magician is somebody traditionally that can magic things up and do whatever they want, and that's completely accurate for this card too, for all of you. The Magician is all about everything is coming together, because if we look here at the Magician card, the four suits in the tarot, swords, pentacles, cups and wands, they've all come together. So the Magician card really is very powerful for the second week of October. So as we do go into the 7th onwards, but particularly the 9th, really, really own anything that's offered to you in respect of opportunity in any level of your life. Snap it up. Really, really snap it up. The third week of October, we begin with the Moving On card. And this is a very powerful card, because we see this gentleman moving from the darkness here into the light there. Sorry, my camera's the other way around. So the darkness here into the light there. It's about, or whatever, it doesn't work anymore for me. The past has been mentioned so strongly in October, and it is just not working for me anymore, so I'm letting it go. That's how you're going to feel, because you've got that Moving On card. But we do have the full moon in Aries on the 16th of October, which is that very strong warrior energy. Do watch your ego. And this card would warn you, with the moon being in Aries, the full moon being in Aries, don't cut your nose off to spite your face. So don't be, well, I don't need this and I don't want you and I don't need these situations. We all get into that phase sometimes, but do watch that. Watch your ego. Don't try to be over the top, or don't try to be anything you're not. So do just keep a little bit of an eye on your ego. But what's fantastic is the Queen of Cups. You do not have to be a female to have that card honour you. You're emotionally stable. Family is a very important aspect in the third week of October. You're going to want to be by your family, have them nurture you, look after you, be around them very, very strongly. Work is a very strong theme as well throughout October, because we've had a lot of the Pentacle cards and we have the 9 here, the 8, sorry. So you're going to be paying a lot of attention to your work life in October. A lot's going to be changed, and you must be careful that you don't bite off more than you can chew. Anytime the full moon comes in, we all feel oversensitive. You don't need to be psychic. Psychics do feel it a little bit more, but you don't need to be psychic to feel the power of the moon. So in the 3rd week, the theme that we do have there is that the loose ends that we've been tying up through the whole year are gone. The only time they do stay there is when you let them. We as psychics constantly say, let go of your past, move on, it doesn't serve you, but it's easier said than done. It's very, very easy to stay in your past, but this card here doesn't want you to, so really try to let that go. The Queen of Cups, just to recap for you, is again just that indication that you'll feel stable if you allow yourself to, but work may feel a little overwhelming. So the full moon, keep an eye on it, the 16th onwards, the 2 days before and the 2 days after, everything comes up. It does feel very sensitive, so keep a little bit of an eye on that. Then as we do go into the last week, we have a new moon again coming in. So it's a sense of newness and it's a sense of new beginning. And you have your memories of love card. Your predictions for October are constantly saying about your past, and your memories of love card is about that again. You may find that you're holding on to things again that are no good for you. And when I say they are no good for you, they really are not. So you may be holding on to things again that just don't serve you. Truly, truly, truly to let them go, because the 2 of coins comes in, which is all about ideas. It's all about 2 paths that are presenting for you, because November's energy is all about rebirth, so October's preparation. September was all about intensity. It was about everything coming up that we didn't even want to deal with. October is about choice, whether we let go of that or keep doing it. November, there's a rebirth anyway. So whether you choose to hold on to your past in November, it won't happen for you anyway, because it's going to go away. So why not act upon the 2 of coins and accept the path now? When we look at the 2 of coins, we can see this being moving into stiller water because the tide's coming in. So we can see this man or woman, depending upon who you are, moving away from that, but moving into goodness and to renewal. So those 2 paths that do open up for you, it's that choice. Do I stay here, do I stay there, or do I move forward? I'd advise you to move forward every single time. And the latter of October comes in with the 8 of Wands. We see a man here that has completely dealt with everything that he's been through. He's looked through everything that he's been through, and he starts throwing the arrows to let them go. This is also a fantastic card for people that are looking for romance, because the 8 of Wands brings in the sense of newness for love. It's the new arrows moving forward, but it is also a chance of house move. So anyone that is trying to move house, that can also be coming in for you. So the theme really does feel for October in general that everything is moving, it's changing, it's renewal, it's rebirth, it's a sense of a new beginning. But as the moon reminds us, it's choice. We can either stay in the past or we can move forward. Lastly, we do just want to have a look at what the angels want you to know for October, because they did bring the sense of comfort in, but we do want them to have a look about what they do feel for us as well. And the card that we do have is support. So we had comfort to begin with, and now we have support. Anytime that we need angelic assistance, we can simply call upon our angels, but they want you to know that they're there to support you. And they are there as well to bring forward that sense very strongly for you of family again, because we have the family cards. So it is all about family. So I feel like the theme for October is tying up loose ends, completely truly letting them go, and moving forward into a new space. As always, ask your angels for support, a blessing upon you and those that you love, and have an absolutely fantastic October. I'll be back in November with what's happening then. Take care.